But that's part of the reason what the gosh darn this country's in there, the problems there that of this disease there that's going across and it ain't over. So when we're talking about money there, and we're talking about exempting interest on payments there, we gotta be talking about how people can pay. And when you got more people using the food bank now, and it's not us seniors there, there's a few seniors there, but it's a group of people that got laid off, they can't afford they gotta pay their oil bill, but they got no money for food, so they're going to the food bank. So we gotta look at the picture. We just can't gouge there when you're going there for tax. Did everybody use them? You're looking at the capital. Is everybody in favor? Right down the utility trail there. Is everybody in favor there? What?
There's items here that we're getting.
I totally understand that, Kim. Right, going down to,
It's been done.
okay,
Is that what the yellow means?
yeah,
Yes, because
That
I
it's done?
actually was, no, the yellow means is
they're in,
that-
they're in our yard right now.
Okay. I'm just getting confirmation that's what that means.
Okay,
Okay, the yellow means that we adjusted the budget based on the actual costs that came in when we put the items purchased.
okay. Street lighting. Here's where I have concerns.
The one right below you, the
Yeah.
utility fee?
Yep, $6,000. Espinal Regional Hydro was sold. A percentage of that went to the town of Massey and the town of Weber. And the reason being there, we didn't want they're the ones that made that company. So we didn't want the money going to the municipalities. $6,000 doesn't sound much here, but that should be coming out of that fund there of the hydro. It's a hydro.
But that, isn't that for that grant you got for the lady?
Hydro isn't a user pay system like the water and the sewer is. Hydro and streetlights are used by the general population, just like our Hydro One streetlights are. We can't start prorating our Hydro One streetlights that we've just put up.
I totally understand that, Kim, but that is hydro. We're gonna talk about $180,000 plus or minus there for LED lighting at the next meeting. Do you not think that could come out of that gosh darn fund there of hydro?
Council will have to redesignate where the money has already been put into reserves.
Well, that's right there, but it's,
But then that is going to still be for the benefit of the general population. It is not just the users of those communities that are using and paying for those streetlights.
I totally understand that, Kim, there. But you've got $1 million sitting in that account for Espinal or Massey, and you got $500,000 sitting in. So where are you gonna plan on using that? We go down to water treatment plant, you got all that stuff, you got $50,000. Is that not there, could be used on that hydro? So why is it in the budget? And then you turn the page there, you've got there the gosh darn redwood sewers. Could that not be used for, out of that fund? Because we don't start using some of that money there, you'll never use it.
We have to look at keeping reserves for, future replacement as well, though, that.
Yeah, but we're talking $500,000 here that do, and $1 million.
See, right now, Les, your user rates for the water sewers, or for the sewers and for the water department are able to cover any of the capital expenditures that we have allocated for this year. Okay, so both of those departments are self-balancing. So the money that we get from the users of the system are able to fully fund all of the expenses for either of those departments, including the capital improvements that we have. If you take money from reserves, then you're going to be ending up taking the surplus funds from each of those departments and adding them back into reserves.
Yes, but you're telling me you're gonna sit on that $1 million there forever and ever because you don't want to spend any on water treatment plant or on the storm sewers in Massey. Is that what you're telling us?
Right now,
Because we're being recorded.
should the water treatment plant fail or require major upgrades to it, you have a bank account, or if you want to call it that, your reserves available to make those repairs, needed upgrades, so that you don't have to go to raise the water rates. Same thing should the lagoon fail, and you have some major work, or you need to do some major work on the sewer distribution lines. You have those reserves there that would allow you to do that without having to go to the users of the system to either increase their rates or major borrow. That's what the reserves are set up for.
Yeah, but that money there was allocated for water treatment and sewers. And when you're buying new pumps there, that's an improvement of your sewer system.
You have to keep maintaining the infrastructure. It's like, the same thing with your vehicle. If you don't keep replacing the brakes or you do work on the exhaust system, you're going to have a major problem. So these are, yes, they're capital items because of the nature and the price of the items, but they are also improving the assets and increasing the useful life they're extending the useful life of the assets.
And so even if we did take the price of that pump out of the reserve fund, then at the end of the year, we're gonna have a surplus in the user fees. So then that will just get put back into the reserve fund. So it's just doing legwork and extra moving around for
Yeah, but
money.
you don't want you're only showing 100, what are you showing here for water? 157 for sewers and liquid. You go to the top line, you're showing 157,000 there, in the water, 130,000. Right? Yeah, right now we're spending $50,000 just on so that leaves only 80. And you're sitting on $1 million. It don't make sense there. And next, but he's going to look at this and say, "Holy truck, the reserves are too low and 130 there. You got to raise everybody's rate." Well, you shouldn't have to raise anybody's rate there when you're sitting on $1 million and you got $50,000.
So are you saying, Les, that we can use some of the money in reserves and not always keep that amount, that we can lower that amount in reserves
Well, why are
to
you?
use it?
Yeah, but why are you sitting on $1 million in
Yeah,
reserve?
yeah,
I
I
can't
hear
figure
you.
that out.
Yeah.
Or $500,000 in it.
Is it too much? Do we need to, get more work done and use some of it and not replace it, but still have some bit of a nest egg? That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm understanding here.
Yeah, because when you're looking at this, you had all these lines up there, it comes to $1.5 million.
Yeah. That's a lot of money to be spent
Yes.
there. Yeah.
And then you go over there to the medical clinic generator, $55,000. And then if you look at this fancy sheet there, what did I do with it? There's money in that reserve for the health, for clinics, for health, 176,000. So, and that 176 has been in there for how many years? 20 years? 15 years? We sit on it?
Wow.
That's social services.
Yeah, but social services, since I got on as chair, we have never went back to the municipality and asked for any money on social services. And we never will. If you're running a business, you don't. And that's what it is.
So can we spend some of that money on the clinic?
Well, that's what I'd like to know.
Yeah,
You got all these accounts at the top and you don't want to spend any of it.
Yeah.
In the same official plan, look at the goddamn planning and reserve, $70,000. Why? You got 70, how long has it been sitting there at 70? Why not take that 10,000 out of that goddamn reserve? There's 60 in it, what are you keeping the planning reserve for?
Or in case there's another OMB hearing. Yeah, that's all cushioned in case, for the just in cases.
But
Legal fees, consultation.
that's a big
fees.
cushion.
It is.
That's
It
a
is.
huge
It
cushion
is.
and, you
And like
know,
Pat said, it was also partly set aside for previous council's intentions towards the Birch Lake Dam improvements if we ever attain that.
Yeah.
Ministry wouldn't cooperate with us for that, so it's down the tubes now.
Yeah, that's a gone.
That's previous council.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We tried to make a deal with the ministry to fix the Daigle Dam project at the other end of our church,
But they're not,
but they would not cooperate.
Not at all.
and they won't spend
Then
any
they're
money.
not interested in even talking to us, and they won't fix it.
But it's sad there when you're talking about hydro there and you're talking about street lights, only if Massey and Walford or Webwood's got them there. And you're talking about changing to LED. Why is the problem in not taking the money out of that instead of borrowing?
But the general
I know that you're,
budget just paid for LED lights in Walford and a lot
I
of the
totally
highways.
understand that, Kim. But somebody's got to explain to me there after 2 hours looking at all this last night, why are you keeping all these reserves that's lying there? I bet you could go back 10 years. Because if you go with the first sheet there, the notional tax rates there, you're going to be at, what do you got to back here? You're going to take federal gas tax contribution of 448,000. If you take out of these reserves there, you don't have to take all that federal gas tax out of that reserve. Which is nice to take some of that out of there to show the government that we are spending it to make us look good there. But I don't want to deplete it there to the gosh darn bottom when it comes to a road that we can use that water, that money there.
Yeah.
And we could have used, instead of paying for something there that we got a reserve.
Yes.
I have a question. What's local service realignment on the reserves?
That was initially set up when, after amalgamation,
Yeah,
for any changes to the policing.
so, and it's
Funding.
still sitting there?
Yes, we have
For
over
20
the
years?
depleted it. We have depleted some of it down to, over the years, and now that's where it stands. It's what's left over now.
That's a lot of money.
That's right.
That's a lot of money sitting there for really,
Yes.
you know, I mean,
And it
well,
was
how
set
much have
up-
we spent, Pat? Do you know, like roughly in 20 years of that?
You're asking me that for 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, even in the last few years, like, do you remember a time when we did use any of it?
It was set up in case our rates all changed there and then the government, how many years ago? 5, 6, 7 years, the time.
We took 104,944 out and added another 50,854 back in. And it started off at,
Gee, that could be cut
Sorry.
in half.
transfer reserve. And then in 2003, we added 122,370 into it. And 5, there's another 70,744 added.
The only reason that hydro was set up that way there was some councillors on here that didn't want the municipality spending it anywhere at all. They wanted it to be designated for Massey and Webwood, which should be.
Yeah, because they were the ratepayers that have put
They
money
are-
into
That's
the
right.
system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wolford's under Hydro One, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the money from Espanola Hydro should.
So if you
go to
wanna
Matthew or
Take
whoever.
that pile of money there and use it there to some benefit there for the town of Massey and the town of Webwood, we should be looking seriously at this.
I don't see why not. I don't know, what are your concerns, Kim?
My concern is then if that reserve amount gets depleted
Mhm.
and a major retrofit or upgrade is required to the treatment plant, then it's going to be at that time incumbent upon council to have to raise water rates for those residents to pay for the emergency at that time because this reserve fund is being depleted for other uses.
So is there a compromise where we can deplete it some, but I mean, we're not gonna deplete it all, right? But there must be wiggle room to use some of it, surely,
Well,
right?
I'm sure there is, definitely.
if we're only getting 1.5% on the money, 1.5% of $1 million
Yeah,
would pay all that.
yeah.
We're not depleting anything, all we're taking is the gosh darn interest here.
Yeah,
And that gosh darn pumps here was 11,500. 1.5% of $500,000 there pays that. So you're not depleting, all you're using is the interest. Am I missing something here?
No, you're not,
Not from where I'm sitting, Les. I mean,
that we have a couch.
I
I-
get that you need some money in reserve.
I
But
totally
it comes to a
understand.
point where, come on, that's an awful lot of money to be sitting there. Where we could be using it and not having to tax more, right?
And the same as buying that generator last year in Webwood there, that generator up for the sewers was a major improvement to that system there, in case the old one broke down there. That should have come out of $500,000.
We didn't have it then.
I totally understand, but if
The
we
deal
did,
wasn't
well,
closed then,
we
yeah.
did have it there by the time the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, could we look at a percentage then?
That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
the interest raised on that
So we.
fund, and that reserve fund could come back into working capital.
Pay for all
The
that.
you're
Yeah.
talking about the water and sewer improvements,
That's right.
right?
Yes, yeah.
You want to spend that money on
Yeah.
water and sewer,
Yeah, the interest rate, yeah.
not all that money, I mean.
Just the
But
interest
it's
that
the
money
interest
makes.
money come back into the reserves for those,
If we-
for sewers and waters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we decide to go ahead with this LED lighting there, which in 6 years we'll get our money back there, I don't wanna go and borrow money when we got money sitting here
That's
that we
right.
should be using.
That we're actually making some interest
Yeah.
on, yeah.
It don't make sense there. As a ratepayer there, you don't go and borrow money just because you got money in the bank there to pay for school.
So we don't really want to word it that it comes back to just waters and sewers. We want to have it, I don't know, the right technical term, but it's got to come into,
Interest on those
Well-
reserves is for general municipal purposes.
yes, there. Thank you.
Yeah, but that was just set up there. At that time, we didn't know what to do with it
Yes,
there, so
I
we
know.
said 50% there, wasn't 50.
Whatever.
Well, it was
Three-quarters.
3/4
Yeah.
And a quarter.
designated to Massey and a quarter designated.
More.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
it wasn't split up there what we had to do with it.
2/3, 1/3, yeah.
2/3 and 1/3.
2/3 and 1/3?
It all made sense at the time because
Well,
those are the people that were putting the money into the water fees.
Well,
or
and they're
sewer
gonna
And it
get
fees.
still
the
makes
benefits
sense
back,
because those
right?
are the
Yes,
people that are
still
putting
does,
it in.
for
I see,
plus
okay.
you're still benefiting there, them people there are seeing the improvement there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So we'll do a resolution that the interest on the reserves shall be earmarked for general municipal purposes, and that we will review the street lighting proposal after this street lighting audit was completed to have the LED upgrade.
What you should do, make it simpler for us old people there to take all that out of there, water treatment, all that there, and you should say, by the way, we're doing $50,000 in improvements there, this is where we're gonna spend it. I don't care where you find it, but don't find it out of taxation on this sheet there,
But it's
capital.
not out of taxation.
It's not
It's out of capital, it's out of
It's
capital.
out of the user fees.
That's right there, but I
It
don't want
doesn't
that
even affect
user
taxation.
fee there to go down anymore, 130,000, I don't want that side to go down.
It doesn't even affect taxation.
I
It's
know
not
it
even brought
don't,
into that calculation.
I know it don't there, but I'm living in Cutler Lake and I look at this capital budget there, people don't understand it. So I wanna make sure that it's nice and, same as that Webwood sewer. I want serious discussion in regards to that generator when we got $178,000 sitting in that.
How much of that would be principal, do you think?
Well, it don't matter.
I'm just curious as to how much,
It's right here on the back.
how much interest we've made on it, I guess.
I don't, I'd have to do the calculation.
Would it-
It's
would
all
it be in-
principal. Showing on that reserve schedule, it's all principal.
Okay.
So maybe we can come up with a percentage of those amounts, so we don't deplete them, and
Well, we're just talking about using the interest.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's
without
all.
depleting the bottom line too
Yeah.
far. So we're still prepared,
Yeah.
should there be something coming.
We went through this process at social services, DSAT there. We had all these gosh darn little pots of money there. Well, the auditor there, under the wisdom, said, if you don't use it, get rid of it. Put it all in one.
Yes.
So now we've only got 2 or 3 there, that the EMS is one prime example there. And your working reserve there.
So do we need to have a discussion where we have a meeting and go over all of those reserves and decide,
Well,
how
yeah.
much we can deplete them and use them to the best of our
Yeah, but that's another day.
abilities? But yeah, I know, but I think it
Yeah.
should and could be done, right?
I totally agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and it's the best use of funds.
Because
right?
at the end of the day there, I don't want, when you get to the bottom of the page, there, we're taking all this federal gas tax. And we need some answers there, so we don't want to take $448,000.
Yeah.
Give them directions, and I don't want to take out of reserve $12,000. I'll take it out of reserve, but I want to take it out of the line that needs it taken out of. We all benefit from the clinic there. $55,000, that's it. That's come out of health and safety there. And, it's health.
Health and social
Health
services.
and social services, yeah, in my mind, I don't know why we have that much in reserve. That definitely could be used for equipment, could it not? And things for the,
Well, the generator and the computer, that's health.
yeah, for sure.
That's $60,000 there out of a
Yeah.
line there that doesn't change there unless they're in the wisdoms.
So what you're saying is that you want to take the reserve that's been set up for the social services surpluses that we've received from social services over the past years
Yeah,
and transfer that over into the medical clinic capital. Is that what you're asking?
no.
That's exactly what you're asking.
Well,
No.
that's what I thought he was asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking there, I don't want that $178,000 or 176. I just
That
want,
is from the surplus from the social services from DSAB
yeah,
that we have been given
Yeah.
each year,
yeah,
and you set that up for DSAB,
Yeah.
social services.
yeah, which is zero
So
this
when
year.
you don't want to have that there. So what you're saying is that in order to get the generator and the computers for the medical clinic, you want to take the cost for that out of the DSAB surplus.
That's right,
That's what you're saying.
but that still leaves $100,000 in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll need a resolution to do that.
Yes.
So are we allowed to use that out of there?
These are
Is the next
discretionary
question.
reserves. Council has set them up for
Which I would
specific
like to know.
ideas. If
Okay.
council wishes to change those categories, then council needs to do a resolution. Those are discretionary ones that you've set up over the years.
Again, I think that,
That's
needs
perfect.
a meeting all to itself to revisit that. Don't you think?
But in the
But
meantime,
in
you're
the meantime,
saying
I think we can do it.
Yeah, in the meantime.
buy
we
the
can do that.
generator and the computer.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we
Set a
definitely
date.
need to set a date.
Yes.
Instead of taking
Because you're
another.
You
still
see which
looking
one
at
we have.
100,000
We can get
left.
rid of there and combine it into the major.
That's right, yeah, if the money's just sitting there, we might as well spend it.
Absolutely.
Or some of it, a portion of it.
Well, that's the
Well,
thing,
yeah,
you're,
we're just
you're
saying
still
part of
looking
it.
at having $100,000 left in there after those purchases, so
Spending.
that's quite a good cushion still.
Okay, Pat, when it comes to $10,000 in official plan, can that be taken out of planning as well? The planning with 70,000 in that reserve? Well, we're talking about
It's
planning.
just ongoing, it's just, we're in the final stages of getting, I believe, the official plan approved. I think it's in the hands of the ministry. Kim.
Yes,
And then the zoning bylaw.
yeah.
So we don't know if we'll need any of that
We don't.
yet. So we can't really,
Which sheet?
Sorry,
is it?
Tim? It's
Sorry,
in-
straight to that.
I don't
Still
know.
in
how
reserves.
He wants to take that out.
yeah. That is an unknown.
Okay, does anybody else got any comments on this sheet there?
No, I think
Or
you've
you go
addressed them all.
Or the first or second, I don't care which one you go on.
No, I think you've addressed,
regards to the old Webwood Road culvert replacement, the 9,000 is for engineering that has commenced.
Okay.
Now that the snow has been melting and they're able to get in and really take a look at those culverts. We also are waiting for a response from the town of Espanola with regards to our inquiry to them on the maintenance of the.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have they responded yet?
Well, I think they were getting to it and then, you know, council meetings got suspended and so on, but the last they understand is that Public Works was going to provide council with a report on that.
Mhm.
They're doing engineering work on Imperial now for our storm sewers there, massive right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
As we speak.
Good.
Yes, 'cause they're,
anybody got any other comments in that, Chair?
Are we gonna back up to kind of
Yeah.
Pat's
We
comments,
went-
so
we-
we can
we-
kind of, we've been jumping all over? Just to kind of go in order, because I think Pat had, or Kim and Pat had some comments about the arena improvements and things. Right? Are there comments? Or do we want to start it?
Yeah, number 3 there. Nobody's hiring students there. The government is funding their students there for the summer there. We should use our employees there down at the arena there.
I disagree, though,
We
that
do have laid
there
off
are people
employees.
hiring
Yeah,
students.
if we got laid off people, I'd like to see them back to work when we can. And they're all good employees and I want them to make sure they're back next winter there.
So you don't want to hire any
I don't want to
students
hire
for
any
summer?
students here. I want to hire the people that we laid off, that want to come back.
Are we eligible for any program financially for students?
Yes, we have
Yes.
applied, we have applied for students, 6 students, and I've received a request for further information from Canada Summer Jobs. First of all, they want to know if there's a questionnaire that I have to answer.
Is it like a 50/50 funding or?
They are.
They increased it, did they not, because
Yes,
of this?
all funded employers will be eligible to receive a wage subsidy reimbursement up to 100% of the provincial or territorial minimum hourly range. Before, it was 50%.
Yes.
And we may offer part-time placements in addition to full-time. They offered job placements between May 15th, 2020 and February 28th, 2021. And we have we'll be provided flexibility to amend the project and job activities to support the delivery of critical services. And they have a questionnaire that they want us to submit by tomorrow. Tomorrow. Taking into account the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the Canada Summer Jobs 2020 temporary flexibilities, are you still able to offer work placements to youth this year if you receive funding? And will you be able to offer the number of job placements for which you initially requested? Initially, we requested 6. When do you plan to begin the work placements? And if funded, will you require an extension to the end date? Well, if we're just summer students, then I don't see why we would need to. The other questions are not really applicable to us. We don't need an advance or anything like that. The thing is, will we be able to provide the physical distancing and the PPE to the students that are required under the Ontario's emergency order?
Yeah, you can't send one student out there to water flowers, you gotta send 2 there, so we gotta send 2 vehicles there.
We don't have the vehicles.
No.
A lot of times we would put 4 or 6 students together
Yeah.
in a truck with the trailer of equipment and they'd be cutting grass in an area.
Yeah, I think with the way things are, I don't think it's a wise.
I don't think it's feasible. I don't think it's safe. You're not allowed to carpool or anything,
I'd be
so.
more worried for
Yeah.
the safety of the
Yeah.
students.
Right.
So at this time, we could just defer it then? Sorry to cut in.
At this time, we have to decide
There's a deadline though on the.
tomorrow
Yeah.
for the application.
send them a nice little letter, thank you there, but with all that's going on in the country there, and the world there.
And we're not the only
we're- Yeah.
municipality
We're backing off
there
Any students
doing
there
that.
this summer.
So do we?
I agree with Les.
We have what did the arena staff, don't they usually get laid off in the summer and
No.
grading after they're usually? So why are they available now as opposed to,
Well, they were laid off as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
okay,
And, law says that their jobs can't be compromised in the
Yeah.
future because of it.
okay,
They did leave earlier than normal.
Yeah.
And there is still some maintenance and work to be done at the arena as well.
okay,
Assuming that it's gonna start at the beginning of September,
Right.
as per normal.
so you're saying we bring them back, they fulfill their duties at the arena plus work for public works?
Yeah.
That's what I see, yeah.
And they all get more hours?
Yeah. I believe that's the best thing,
It
practice
sounds
to
good,
do.
like, I'm,
We're all adults there. they
and
get it done.
that is enough to cover all the extra work here for the
Should
summer?
I think they'd have to put extra hours in.
Well, no, they'll be up to whatever, 40 or whatever, or 30 or whatever, I don't know
We
what the
can't
numbers.
compromise and take on a couple of students? I don't know.
No. I just
Oh,
You
don't.
don't have a vehicle to put them in. They, like
And they
Kim
all-
said, they all hop into one truck and go with the trailer and the lawnmowers and they'll have to go to Webwood or Walford or,
Could we
Yeah.
borrow that white SUV?
nope.
The
that's building
staff
department.
that we have at the arena already practice basically social distancing. They're working different hours and, stuff,
And
so.
they will require a public works truck when
Yeah.
doing
The
their
walk.
duties as well.
Yeah,
Redwood and.
Yeah, we have one truck set up to do the watering of all the flower pots. But then they could one person can drive that truck and the others can use their own vehicles and we can compensate their mileage.
We've got enough vehicles in this yard, we just bought a new one there, another one there, it's in the yard today there, so we've got enough vehicles there for.
We have other public works that are out on machinery, so
Yeah.
that there should be, like a half ton
I
available,
don't want,
whatever.
I don't want anybody pulling a lawnmower of ours or pulling in.
Oh, no,
No.
No, oh, they can put that on behind the truck, water truck. Water tank
We have a
truck.
lot of students calling in wondering, so it would be nice to know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe personally.
So we can't have one student cutting grass on a riding mower? Under, the supervision?
It's the idea of getting to places and the idea of having the transportation to get to places.
Les just said though that we could
And
accommodate.
supervising.
That's what I'm thinking.
They have to be
Can we not accommodate a couple?
But they have to be supervised,
So
so.
one can live,
And
we don't know who is going to apply, but in the perfect world, we could have one student living in Webwood, one student living in Massey. They can have their lawnmowers with them and they're responsible for cutting the grass. They don't need a trailer or a truck or anything.
really
They just
feel
pick it
bad,
up
you know,
and
that-
off they go.
Yeah, that the students.
But there is funding available for them if they can't get a job.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
and I worry about, so Public Works is working through their, trying to get used to one another. And then you gotta go, who's gonna supervise them? They have to have supervision because otherwise they like enjoying, they don't know what to do, right? So, and they can't come in the office right now because we have to protect the office staff. So I think health is a big issue and some people are still taking it too lightly. They're just, it makes me a little nervous.
Well, but what do we see in the media? They're trying to turn it around like yesterday.
I know.
You know.
And it makes me really nervous when you start hearing that.
I don't want to compromise students by having them in here. There is funding available through the government for them. They make probably more than a lot of seniors do in a month by applying for that
Mhm.
money. So I don't think they might enjoy the time off. I know it's a different world, but in reality, they have the chance of getting at least $1,000 a month while they're off. So,
I do like Pat's thought of, if we had somebody, a student in Webwood, then we've got somebody right there to be able to do some work.
but still, the supervising issue is the problem. That's the problem, because under the criteria, you have to have a supervisor. So,
Okay,
Under the program, there is supervision and mentorship.
Yes.
the simplest way, just be kind this year, and
Yeah,
nice little letter
that's
there
right,
says,
yeah.
thank you there, but.
I
no
agree.
problems.
So what services are we gonna compromise in the flowers?
We're not
No.
compromising.
Because the arena stuff's gonna be good.
They'll just be on a 7-hour,
Yeah.
7-day.
Yeah, that's what I'm, because the flowers have to be watered twice a day, yeah.
Yeah.
Plastic,
No.
We've already,
As a flashback.
we've already paid for the flowers at the
Okay,
Foley House.
some of us gotta leave there shortly.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, change the public works, operating budget. There's two there that make up $60,000 that I want changed. One is there, the loose top, there's that 50,000 over budget there all the time in that loose top, I want that taken out of there. And I want prime and chip there this year, or not loose top, but
Where are you there, Les?
where are you talking, Les?
look in there, whatever page it is there.
Oh, over here.
Is it
Yeah,
maintenance?
see? Yeah, they're numbered.
No, in this one.
It's in this one here.
Susan.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
no,
is
it's
in
in the
that.
other.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's under 01300-343-8,000. We're actually spending 2018, 220,000, and 2019, 250,000, and then we budgeted 300,000. We're always going over $50,000. Instead of loose top there, I like there that the prime and chip there, the price of oil and or pavement there this year. One and the other.
How much more is asphalt than prime chip? Is it double?
Yes.
Oh,
At
triple
least,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, but still, we should be doing one or the other.
Okay, so what category, 343,000 is rooftop maintenance.
Oh, that's
materials
wages.
and supplies.
Yeah, materials,
That
yeah.
includes gravel and, your, dust control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally,
So, okay, say again, Les, what you want?
I left 50,000 taken out of that line right
The
there.
loose
The
top?
8,000?
Yeah, and I want that in the capital there, and I want it under some project there, but it's gonna be prime and chip or pavement.
Oh, we should go pavement.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's right, we'll have to make sure there's a section that we have to do there.
Yeah.
And if we can do it this year and save us money there, because there's a company coming in and doing, Sagamok Road there, so they could be setting up there very closely, now's the time to be doing it.
Yeah.
Instead of trucking it from,
I know
Whatever.
you're talking about the section of Lee Valley that we're working on, or what?
well, it could be a section in Lee Valley, it could be a street in Massey that we gotta do.
There's a couple
Oh, yeah.
sections that need repair.
Yes,
The one in Bell where we had the water line, that has to be.
Yeah.
redone.
Right.
So take 50 out of that line, 8,000, and put it over in,
in the
Hard
capital
top.
there, but we wanna make sure there, it's going into prime and chip or pavement.
pavement. Well, but if it's a street in Massey, then it'll be pavement, not prime and chip.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's a street in Massey or street in Weber. I
But
don't
I'm
know
saying,
yeah.
if they're doing the water line, you're gonna have to fix
Or
the
it's a
street.
section of prime and chip out in the country, I don't know, or it's a
Yeah.
section in Walford, I don't know. But I don't want us to put on gravel there when oil is so cheap there right now.
Yeah, now's the time to do it.
So we have surface treatment on Meredith and Carl Albert Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40,000. You have surface treatment,
Lee Valley.
50,000 on Lee Valley Road. And then you have surface treatment on Waterfalls Road, 50,000. And you want to add another 50,000 with
Well, I want Glenn to tell us here
just
where we
surface
need it.
treatment.
Like, how long a strip would that 50,000
kilometers.
do?
3
kilometers?
For 50,000
No,
prime and chip?
No, prime and chip there,
Prime and chip.
yeah, 16,
Prime
roughly,
and chip?
Yeah.
50,000 will do 3 kilometers.
3 kilometers, 6.
Well,
So-
we have a estimate here, Lee Valley's 50,000
Yeah.
is to cover a single layer for 1 kilometer with a double layer for 300 meters, so 50,000 is not gonna cover 3 kilometers.
Then the price of the shares.
Think we'll double or triple what we get for money?
Yeah, but I
If
don't
it's
know
that
where
low.
Yeah, but it used
Well,
to be
this
only
was
16,000. The price of oil has gone down, so shouldn't,
Yes.
the prices shouldn't have jumped there that much there in a year.
But yeah, to do a kilometer is a lot of money.
Yeah,
I don't know what the increase, like what the savings is. Do we have any idea? Has anybody?
We're getting surface treatment prices from the road association shortly.
Mhm.
They had to go in at the end of April, so we'll
Yeah.
be getting those prices soon.
yeah, but we should be getting on our hands and knees there with that contractor that's doing, set them out there.
Yeah,
Terra
we'll have
North.
Public Works too.
Yeah,
It's Terra North,
we
yeah.
need, yeah, we need well, they won't be doing pavement there, whoever it is, BMH or Pioneer. We need 2 kilometers done there, how much are gonna charge us? Or 3 kilometers, I don't know. But that's Glenn's job to tell us how many. And in regards to winter control, there we gotta put sand on. 65,000, I know what it costs, we've got is the tender out there for the
The
sand?
tender is due this week.
Yeah.
It's on the, yeah.
Yeah,
That 70-10 you're talking about, Les? Or not the wages?
no, it's 8,000 there in regards to winter sand there.
Materials,
Yeah,
parts and supplies.
65,000. We put a pile of salt on in that sand there, and I want us to cut back 1 load of that salt there. I don't know what 1 load of that salt is worth. We get about 2 or 3 dumped in behind there. And then we picked it up there and we put a half a load over across the road there because we didn't use it. The municipalities that cut back on their salt there and went to good sand there is seeing better improvement there. You don't see the holes in your gosh darn now.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be the
Yeah.
pavement, yeah.
The sand is okay where there's no pavement or whatever underneath, but.
I know we put the salt in the sand to stop the sand from freezing.
Yeah.
So it's that fine line, how much can they not put
Yeah.
of
Go back
calcium
on.
in there?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
gotta back
And end
off
up
there
with
instead.
chunks.
Yeah, because
We
we don't
hauled
want
it
the
from here.
pile frozen.
Yeah, we hauled from here over to there last winter. We spent, I don't know how many thousand on salt. I'll bet you we got, what, 15, 20,000 on salt?
Well, salt also allows the sand to stick, because it gives it a little bit of a tack on the
Yeah, but
edges.
on cold and -40, it don't,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing the money
So we
away.
can
Anything
reduce.
colder than -10.
We'll look at the,
We'll look at that there. We gotta watch how our sand there this year, we got,
It depends on the ice.
I totally agree there, but sand there, you gotta have a sand there that'll stick to ice there. Bobby May is the prime example of good sand there, you got sharpness in the sand. But if you got beach sand there, beach sand will not stick. Use beach as an example, if you go down to the mountain, you'll see there,
Yeah.
it won't stick.
Just falls.
So we've had our last twice now from Sandsville, right?
Yeah.
Last 2 years. Is his sand all right?
Well, we gotta make sure there this year, Glenn's gonna have to make sure there that, even if we gotta test it ahead of time,
Yeah, okay.
make sure there that we're getting that sand there with some.
Yep. Right.
And in regards to includes cleaning supplies there and janitorial service, I wanted to have it years ago there and I never got my way there. Now it's here this year.
But
We
Now
have,
janitorial for the public works.
we
Yeah.
have somebody going in, we have our cleaning
Yeah.
contractor going in to do public works, especially at this time right now.
Good.
It needs to be kept.
Yeah, I want to continue.
absolutely.
Should have always been done, yeah.
That goes for the
She
fire
is,
hall too.
works over and above.
Well, that's in the yellow there.
Do we still not have no one that goes into the fire hall that,
station one
Very-
cleans their own.
yeah,
I
but
think that fire
There's,
firefighters too.
they,
That's part of their.
they clean their own. Oh, you mean the
There's up to
meeting
them.
rooms?
Yeah, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Their own
to-
crews.
I think she's talking more the meeting rooms.
yeah, I'm not
I-
talking about all the trucks, I know that.
That should be, whatever group is using it, they don't pay to use that for meetings, do they?
No.
So they should be cleaning up after themselves. That's what we expect at the community center.
We
Like,
did
if
when we
you
used
get it for nothing, then you make sure you clean up. There's cleaning supplies there, clean up after yourself.
I have never been brought to my attention
Yeah,
that
I'm
there's a
just-
problem. So,
Yeah,
I-
I think they
yeah.
cover that themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, you got that 2012 Chevy Silverado yellow, $5,000. What's that reason for that?
I just adjusted it based on the actual cost that was paid.
2012, the 2012 truck's 8 years old, you got it in yellow there, $5,000.
Well, it was maintenance and repairs they already had to put into it this year, so Pat just added the money.
Oh,
that
okay,
was already
okay.
spent.
And then you added there, the case 621 loader, $16,000, new bucket required for health and safety. use.
Yeah, Glenn has provided you with a personnel report on that.
I'd like to see us buy the 3-yard bucket from Tormont.
I'm not in favor of buying any bucket. The reason being there, we'll be sitting at this table next year and we gotta buy new loaders, so we're buying new loaders, spending $10,000 because we gotta buy new cylinders. If you read that memo
It's a
there,
rental.
yes, $2,000, 7,900, so we're up to $10,000. Well, I just went and looked at that bucket there. What happened there, the holes at the bottom are worn there.
For the pins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should go, there's a bucket place there in Walden, there's a place in Spanish there, there's a place in or Ellie Lake there that rebuilds buckets. And get a cost, and if it costs us $2,000 to repair this bucket, which will only have maybe 1 or 2 years, that loader, makes more sense spending $10,000.
To me, you're buying a new bucket for a machine that's almost at the end of its life. But that's how I see it.
Can you, if you can repair the
I,
bucket,
the loader's getting worn out.
but if you can repair the bucket, is it repairable? Is the
Yes.
Yeah,
question.
exactly, repair the bucket.
And we put a lot of money into that loader.
That's right, but the
Over the
holes there, I just went and looked at the holes at the bottom are wore there, and there's too much loose, and it's flopping there, and it snaps into the cylinders off. Well, $800 cylinder there, don't take long there to,
See, it says the loader itself is in relatively good shape for its age. Runs well, tires are in good shape.
Yeah, for its age.
we just put new tires on it.
So let's cost compare then. Let's figure out how much it costs to fix it.
Does, that manufacturing do that? Fix those buckets?
Well,
Schmitz?
I would
Well, I don't
imagine
know what it's
there
called now.
because,
JNS.
same,
Thank you.
yeah, same company there in Eldon there that my chum works at, that's what they do, rebuild
Yeah.
mining equipment. There's one in Walden, that's all they do, we might do mining equipment buckets and,
Maybe that should have been done a long time ago, so those cylinders.
I totally agree there, but since
It wasn't, so now. we
Moving
have to
forward.
Do it.
since Glenn is here, there, things are coming forward there, and I'll
Yeah.
see,
Moving forward.
instead of
The
us,
use of the loader was never supervised or
No.
looked at before.
So I think if it can be repaired.
let's find out.
Repaired,
there.
and
Take-
if it can't,
Yeah, take a few pictures there and send it to Schmidt there and send it to Walden and
if it can't.
Ted
then-
Bell has got their people there that fix our fire trucks there. They must have somebody there that does that there for their business.
And that business, 810 just moved into the old OK Tire coming in from Espanola from
Yeah.
Recaro. They do fabrication. and
Yeah,
all that.
there's another,
Well,
so,
that's who did the repairs.
yeah,
The
so
fire
you
truck
got
was
5,
810.
6 companies there that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get them to pursue that.
I thought there was one other issue with the bucket though, Les. I thought there was something else that I
The
read.
cutting edge is excellent there. At the side, the bottom, they all repaired it there. The sides are getting weak there, but you can rebuild the sides there when you're fixing the back.
There was something here I read though that left me with the thought that the new bucket.
Whereas there's a broken line on now, they're washing it there to find out which line is broken.
The loader upper using plates and bolts. That's
So we have a price here on a replacement bucket for used.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much repairs would cost and
That's
we'll
right.
go
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, go from there.
Sounds good.
And which size do you need the 3 cubic yards?
the reason I mentioned 3 over the 2.75 was because a big part of the year we're doing snow removal, and snow is so
Yeah.
much lighter than the aggregate, so
Yeah,
that extra quarter of a yard is a gain.
Well, we're not using our loader for very much
Smaller.
load in aggregate, you know?
No, I know,
Yeah,
well, I know in the
so-
winter,
Yeah,
I
it's-
mean, in the winter,
yeah, the winter is
the
perfect.
snow is much later.
Yeah.
And we could have a
used one
40-yard
costs more
bucket in the
than-
winter, Cheryl, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wondered what size is preferable.
Okay, number 5 there, Pat, there, preliminary statement of revenue and expenditures information, what's up for? Mr. Luke?
All I did was I took, the budget that had all of the operating without any capital.
Okay.
And I uploaded it, Ruth uploaded to the Assist Financial so that you could at least get an idea where you stand right now with what's been spent to date. And using a budget that you've already reviewed with all the operations. Any changes that you make can be made and uploaded into the Assist Financials. It's by no means the final budget. It's just so that you can have a look to see what you've spent to date.
Okay, reserves and reserve funds there, that's a 3-hour meeting, if we wanna talk about this sheet there.
Yeah. What about the other items that we're talking about? Well, we did the. We're talking about the arena repairs?
We still gotta maintain our building.
Yeah.
We gotta maintain our infrastructure there to
Yeah.
make sure that it
I
doesn't fall.
think we can afford it. I don't think we should defer it.
No.
I think it should be done. Absolutely. I
We
think she
just-
put 100,000.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
put that in there,
Because you don't know.
we pulled it out of the air basically because we didn't know what the repairs that were recommended from the
Yeah.
structural review.
Yeah.
We didn't know what that would cost, so we
Yeah.
thought, okay, we'll give it at least 100,000,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to throw
Which,
something in there.
which will not need, because we just did the roof there and this,
So it's the
But that's
structural
if the-
reviews that need to be reviewed and revised.
yes,
Yeah.
and the,
In 2 places.
and the cement walls there need to be
Yeah.
there, so that's part of the structure.
But that's a good, number to throw in there.
And that's included in that 1.5 million, right? Yes or no? Yeah, that's arena, that's included in 1.56.
What are you looking at?
Looking at
I think.
your information.
Yeah, the one.
Okay, so it's all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice. I don't think it should be a question. It just should be, get it done.
Get it done.
Yes, sir.
Because
So
it's
we
been,
have a report from a structural
Mhm.
engineer on recommendations.
Mhm.
So we asked that structural engineer to follow through with getting that done
Mhm.
because there's no one else here who's qualified to say what needs to be
Exactly.
done
Mm-hmm.
with what.
Before we get an engineer or the goal there, we wanna see ourselves and what he's,
There's a lot of work in that report that we can do in-house as far
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
painting, scraping, and so on.
yeah.
But when it comes to the structural.
Yeah,
you're
that has
not-
to be done by
Yeah, but I
somebody who
don't-
knows what they're
Yeah,
doing.
but I think all they're gonna do is take a visual, and they're gonna go up and see if the bolts are all tight there.
Mhm.
Well, there's some
In the
little
crack.
gussets or supports that they're talking about aren't there, that weren't there ever.
Yeah,
It sounds like they're mandatory now just to stop the twisting of the
yeah,
beam
Metal,
structure.
yeah.
So in the Sadowski room, there was in the report some requirements there as well as over the ice surface. So
Mhm.
it's somebody with some elevated work platforms and whatnot, but I mean, there are people in our general area that can do that under an engineer's plan.
I know when Brady had to do work on the beams, when he painted all the beams, he rented one of those trucks that lifted himself up.
Scissor lift, yeah.
Well, that's the easy part.
Yeah. So I think whatever he needs to do,
That's
I
gonna
mean,
be-
there are certain jobs the structural engineer will have to do.
we gotta find out what that is there before we just
Yeah.
turn them loose.
And I will bet that there's other structures that have had to update to the same standards as they're asking for us. So There's
yeah.
somebody neighboring that will be able to fill in a little bit of the unknown.
So it's a public building,
Because
so
I'm sure there's gonna be some welding and or drilling to do to put those brackets in, those supports. To me, that looks like one of the big things, especially because of the height.
Yeah.
okay, Pat, what else you got there?
The storm sewer repairs. We asked the engineer to identify the most critical areas that need replacement this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they have given us two areas, Queen and Imperial and Aberdeen and Queen. And the outflow can be held over till 2021. So that reduces the storm sewer repairs down to $448,000. And this is a federal gas tax eligible project. It's failing infrastructure, it's priority number 1.
How much was that, Pat? Sorry?
Oh, I was able to bring it
First
down
page here,
to
Yeah.
448,000.
right at the end, right at the end of the sentence there.
If council wants to take the third component, the third area out for this year, it can wait for
It
next
can
year.
wait till next year.
So the 768 can be reduced to 448.
So the area that we're omitting then is,
The area from Government Road, like along the east side of the Massey Arena, that would be the outflow.
okay,
Yeah, well, that's not a problem, our problem's right in town there,
Yeah, those are that because of public safety,
Yeah.
those are the ones that
yeah.
definitely need to get done.
so do we need to approve that today?
They're down there now engineering, so it'd be nice to see what,
If we get like the engineering information, then we can bring it to council and then we can put out a tender for the repair.
Sounds great.
Yeah, this amount that is put into the capital budget is just based on his preliminary report that he gave us.
and a good contractor is out of this area this summer, he's over in Tecma there, JI, that does the major work.
Yeah.
Is their complete crew is gonna be in Tacoma?
They got a big job there, it means, I don't know how much of the crew's going, but that's one of the contractors.
Yeah, he's our favorite. Well, he does such excellent
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Just excellent work. Castle Street area is just beautiful.
So, surface treatment, the boat launch, the boat launch improvements. There's $20,000 in the capital budget for that. You need to come up with a plan so that we need to do an application to MNRF.
No, don't have to do with them, no.
We nixed that plan. At,
Where's-
at a council.
No, but I thought we had to do ramp improvements.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the ramp,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Well, I thought we could just fill the holes.
No, any in-water works, we need them in our.
Yeah.
In water.
There's actually a couple concrete panels that would be, if we could have them replaced, that would bring that ramp back to, safe.
If we're making that application, can we do that there, all of our
Boat
boat launches there?
No, they all have to be individual.
Oh.
All locations
Yeah,
specific.
all okay.
I don't know if the other, well, I know there's always a problem out there at La
We
Cloche
can
there.
get the others,
Oh, yeah.
looked at, we can get them to take a look at,
Yeah,
our
we
other
may as
boat
well.
launches, but we know that this is one that needs to be repaired, we can get started on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have, Public Works take a look at the,
Well, if
look at the
we,
other ones.
Does the parking have to be part of that application or just when you're working in the water, Ken? Like I thought, extend the parking at the mouth somehow, make there more parking there.
that's why I'd like to keep
Well,
that 20,000.
I don't, yeah.
That 20,000.
I mean,
there.
that just means clearing out.
I haven't been down there, I know that there was,
I
has been cleared somewhat for boats and trailer
Yeah.
parking.
I don't know how much can be cleared or how much, I
All-
just know it's.
All the trees are all cut there, all they gotta do is down is take the
Clear it
stumps out
up,
of there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
a few load of gravel there, and it'll look excellent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I wanna go down to the park there and take the stumps out when the machine's there and do some maintenance there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
20
biological waste, that stuff that the high water put up there, I'd like to get that scraped out so we can get them filled down there.
So I'd like to keep that 20,000 in that there,
Mhm.
so we can
Yeah.
do.
I agree.
Yeah.
which
And
would all
were they-
benefit.
Were they talking about, where did I read something about doing something to the road into the mouth? The hill.
Surfacing.
On the hill?
The hill.
Is that being done?
The Circus Street.
Okay.
Meredith Street.
Meredith and Carl Albert, yeah.
It's not on the mouth road though.
It's just
Well,
down
it's-
the mouth, first mouth hill.
The first
Oh, that's
hill.
part of it.
Towards the
Yeah.
boat launch, yeah.
Part of
Not
it.
at the mouth, but I know on the way to.
Carl
yeah.
Albert to the boat launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
heave there and your car will drag there now.
Yeah.
Anything else, Pat?
Any other changes that you want to make?
The sidewalk, $50,000, I want that piece out by,
On the east side of Imperial South.
well, no, that too, but the piece by Charlie Smith's daughter there, we got them
Yes.
barricaded,
Oh,
that's all
yeah,
taken out of
yeah,
there.
that's in bad shape, yeah.
Yeah, we barricaded it
Yeah.
because it's too.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it when we're doing that.
We have the information on the number 15, replace or fix.
The truck.
Well, in your capital budget, you have the box repair and the engine repair to the emissions
Mhm.
control system. You have to determine if
And
you
it
want
was,
that to stay there or what you want to do with it.
and it was asked to get prices on a new truck, and a new truck price is
Yeah.
$260,000.
Yeah. I thought we decided at our last meeting that we're sticking with that, the repairs. Did we not?
Well, no, we asked her to get quotes there.
For
a new
used-
truck, a
Oh,
used
Used
truck.
there,
Oh, yeah.
and we're gonna keep, repair that there, but, so until the information comes back, let's not jump to.
Did they do any, I asked about some troubleshooting or some, more analytical while they're down, while that truck's down there, did that get done?
No, cause
Because COVID?
no, we haven't did anything there, I don't wanna spend any money until council decides what we're doing. Right.
Wouldn't it be better for us to know what the shape of that engine is? You know what I mean? That's the diagnostics I was talking about.
Yeah.
So we could make a better educated.
Yeah, well, they can do that there,
That's what I was
we
hoping.
can there, but it's gonna cost us money.
Well, yeah, because that's, remember I asked last
Yeah,
meeting,
I
was
told you,
1,072 was already spent. I'm
To tell us,
assuming,
to tell us here, we gotta spend another 23,000 there to fix this.
I just figured for 500 more perhaps, you know what I mean? 500 is gonna be 4 or 5 hours of a technician checking our compression, checking our cooling system, to see if it's leaking, just little things that'll give us an idea if we're looking at another $40,000 after we spend the first 25.
Well, I'd like there to have, International tell us, if we spend $23,000, is that truck gonna last us for another 5 years or so?
Is there any guarantee?
Yeah,
Do we
is-
guarantee
yeah.
anything if we put that money into?
But I didn't
I
wanna
don't
jump
think
to
we
any.
can guarantee anything.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they,
it is old, right?
yeah, but they can tell you Belanger there did this there, and their trucks went there for X number of miles and next.
Give you an estimate.
They can give us an idea.
Well, just the engine oil was low, the coolant was low. I'd really, if it was my truck, I'd sure want to know about the compression, about the sealing of the cooling system, to know if there's something split, cracked,
Yeah, where'd that coolant go?
broken.
Okay, so
But anyways,
is council in favor of doing it there?
So do
Because
more
we'll-
testing on it,
We
is
can
that
ask
what you're
them
saying?
to provide us with a cost estimate on what they charge us to check those.
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah,
concerned with what
and-
shape that engine looks like
And if we
inside.
spend $23,000 there, are we gonna get any warranty there to last X number? of
There,
years?
then I'd be fine with spending, but I'd really like to know a couple more things about that engine. Just,
To see what they're gonna
I'm
charge.
assuming like we're gonna be 500, but the truck is there right now, is it not?
Yeah, still sitting there.
Sitting out there, yeah.
So I mean, it's at their disposal, and I think we could make a better decision, or I'd feel more comfortable about it, that's all.
If you want to keep the 43,000, or do you want
Yeah.
cost
For the
repair?
time being, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the time being.
I'm very skeptical, seeing as those fluids were low, there's something.
Oh, I know.
It had to go somewhere.
Was there a broken hose? I don't know. Is there a puddle underneath it now? I don't know. I haven't been there.
Is that it for today, or?
Well, there's one other. Pat needs some idea. what are we doing? Are we raising taxes? Are we going with this or what are we doing?
I would rather not. If we couldn't get away with it so much, just because
Yeah.
of the year it has been.
And if we can pull some money out of reserves to do some things and still not hurt our
Mhm.
reserves too much, then yeah, why not? Keep it as is.
Will we still have enough money if we leave the taxes the way they are?
Okay,
Yes, that's
you have two options, three actually. One is using the notional tax rates. Now, work this capital budget
Yeah.
into it, okay? Using the notional tax rates. That means we'll raise the same dollars that we did in 2019. Okay, so most people will see the whole net effect between using the current year's assessments and last year's tax rates. Oh, sorry, current year's assessments and the notional tax rates. There'll be a zero change in our levy. Okay, so some people will see a reduction, some people will see an increase because of assessment.
We're in our
Bear
last,
with me for a moment while I bring up.
we're in our last 4-year cycle there, so. I thought it was our first year, but
Okay, so using the notional tax rates, the residential will see a total change of a negative 0.42%. And that's specifically because the province has reduced the education rates, so there's a bit of savings there. Okay, the commercial vacant will see an 11.49% increase. The farm will see 11.84% increase, and the managed forest 3.71% increase. But overall, the grand total, 0.25% negative. So, zero.
mhm.
So
In
we
the
shouldn't
total
have
levy.
to.
That was notional, is that right?
That's the notional tax
Mhm.
rates. Now, notional tax rates takes the current year's assessment and our levy and determines what the tax rates are going to be. And typically that means that the actual tax rates will be lower. We're taking a pool of money, we're taking assessments, and so the rates to get that money using the higher assessments are going to be lower. If you use 2019 tax rates, in other words, you keep those tax rates the same as they were last year, because of the increase in assessments, the residential class will see a 2.26% increase in the dollars coming out of their pockets. The commercial vacant, 13.15. The farm, 14.88. Managed forest, 6.5. The overall change will be 2.37% increase in the levy. You'll get $122,401 more in 2020 than you did in 2019 using the 2019 tax rates. I'll give you a moment to wrap your heads around that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you've got your two capital working sheets. Now, we've made some changes to those working sheets, so they'll have to be reworked. But you'll see what the net capital from taxation on two of those, and each sheet is identified. One is using the notional tax rates, what your capital from taxation would be, and the other one is using the 2019 tax rates, what your capital would be. So there is a difference. You need to decide at what level are you comfortable levying your taxes. That's a decision you need to make.
The third decision is somewhere in between.
Did the price of diesel fall last, or it did fall?
Not very much.
Six- Yeah, 64 cents plus tax right now. Farmers are paying
Oh, okay.
But not at the pump.
93 cents,
Oh.
93 or 83 at the pump.
Oh, I thought it was $1.10
93.
or $1.11.
No.
Went down to, into the nineties last.
Yeah, it's 93, I think it is.
Because our fuel has been our biggest cost with the municipality, and the fuel has risen and now it's come down.
Yeah, we're in the colored there, so most of our fuel is colored. Well, not most, half maybe. Because your graders, your loaders are all colored and
So there's some huge increases for the rural and the forest.
Farm.
and residential. Anybody with parcels of 10 acres or more.
But all residential, it's all
But
the
they're-
same
they're
residential
classed as
class.
residential.
Yeah.
Because the notional is a decrease in 0.25 or something, and the following the 2019 is an increase of 2.25 or something. Am I close with those
Just-
numbers?
Based on current assessments, not anything council has done.
So if you want to raise the same amount of dollars as you did in 2019, then you may need to adjust your capital in order to fit into that levy.
We'd have to lower our capital expenditure.
Well, no,
Unless we
take some of that capital out there and take all these goddamn little lines at the top there and take some of that out of there.
So if you do the extra transfers from reserve, that will reduce the amount that you're going to get from taxation.
I just think because of the year and what all has gone on, like everybody else is saying, I know it's repetitive, but it is an extreme
But the
that
government's
we should,
subsidized quite a bit, hasn't it?
I know, but it's still, ultimately, it's still coming out of all our pockets, because we're all taxpayers.
I understand, but I guess it's because of the amount of our public works equipment that is coming close to expiry. I don't want to see us eliminate too much reserves and then have a loader blow up on us in the middle of winter, and what's that gonna cost, and on and on. We've got a lot of stuff out there that's tired.
Yeah, but we're also spending $1.5 million on capital this year,
Mm-hmm.
plus they're the normal.
What were you gonna say, Susan?
I was gonna say that we can still reserve money for that, but just look at some of the other reserve monies put aside and use it.
Like a percentage?
Yeah, sure.
Not
A
all
little
of
bit
it.
Yeah,
off the top,
take a
but
little bit off
you
the
know,
top, but still save for
Yeah.
something like.
A rainy day, so they say.
Does that
Yeah.
sound feasible with you, Pat?
Do whatever council decides. I'll work it in.
So we don't have to decide this today, right now. We can wait till we visit the whole reserve thing before we make a decision?
Well, no.
This
She-
is
we
May
have
Or do you
to
need
decide.
May
the
6th,
set?
how much longer
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you want to wait?
Well,
Because
Right now,
Are
we're
we
doing
having another finance meeting? Or no?
That's your,
Well,
that's your call.
well, if we're gonna look at the reserves, should we not? I don't know. What do you think, guys?
Well, I want to see with all the changes there, where we stand.
So Pat, could
'Cause
you
I don't
come
want-
up with another capital
Yeah.
worksheet
Yeah, that with another
Yeah.
council.
based on today's discussions?
And with the storm sewers and the street lighting conversion, like, you don't have that, like, the adjustments that were made for the storm sewers. where
Mhm.
We've identified the ones that are
Yeah.
critical and need to be done. We can bring that into it, plus all of the suggestions that you've made today, and then give you a new worksheet.
Well, could we have a worksheet with 10% off of all those reserves? Would a number like 10% work, or is there
I don't think we can draw it out of the hat like that. I think we really have to
site specific?
Because
each
some of you don't wanna
individually
touch.
have the conversations with the people that know, like Pat and him, and then decide. Don't you think?
more than that?
I would be just guessing, Dale. I think we really have to spend the time to look at it.
The working capital reserves is one that we have used for anything that wasn't specific to the other categories. Okay, we've used it to purchase a vehicle, you know, or we've used it when we needed to draw on it.
I don't wanna touch that reserve at all, not the working capital.
Working capital.
No,
I'm just letting
Yeah.
you know that that's,
cause if the
Where we
storm
have-
sewer falls apart there today, I got that working capital, I won't fix it. Or the culvert fall, is apart there in Agnew, I got the money there to go and fix it.
Yeah, so some we don't wanna touch.
No, there's some you don't wanna touch, but there's some there that's sat there for the last.
If
X
we
number of years.
can use them, it would be nice to be able to.
Yeah,
use
there's
it.
2 or 3 of them that I think
Could be reduced.
reduce. Yeah.
well, with the amount of the storm sewer repairs being reduced, the amount that we could take from federal gas tax would be reduced to 134,603. And it is one of the better, next to roads rehabilitation, it's one of the better eligible categories. So we have no problems getting approval to use that. And also the street lighting conversion project is also one of an eligible project under federal gas tax funds. So there's money there that we can use, and we're not using it all up. We still, like, there's $324,320 total for those 2 projects that we would use, of almost close to 600,000 that's available to us.
So, on the updated sheet for next time, could we see, would you be able to calculate roughly the acquired interest we made on it? So there we'll have an idea then, we can. We can make an educated decision.
More.
Yeah. So can we,
But-
go ahead.
But it's a hard sell to me there, when we sold Eskimo Region Hydro, which looked after our hydro systems in Redwood and Massey, and you're talking about LA Lights there, and I can't see why it doesn't come out of that fund.
I agree, Les. So can we meet maybe again next week then to finalize things?
You know, we're going
No.
to,
Oh, we have a
Council.
we gotta
council
have a
meeting.
council meeting there.
And I'm not here next week. And I'll have to have a little bit of time to, for
Yeah.
you guys to get some of this
Oh, right.
information.
Okay, so a couple of weeks.
Yeah, is everybody comfortable with meeting here, or do you wanna do it over the phone?
No, it's fine.
Good, this is good.
Our meeting next week, are we doing it here then, or what's?
Well, that's what I'm just asking.
Oh,
Oh, you mean for council?
Yes,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think this is fine. I don't see why
None of us are sick.
not. No, well, if you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
so you go talk,
We
we'll
gotta
do a
be all-
combination, anybody wants to phone in there,
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
wants to come?
Sure.
So 6 p.m. a week from today then? For regular meeting?
Yeah, and then,
What day
budget
is good
meeting would
for,
be the
Pat?
20th?
well, that's a long weekend, isn't it?
No, that's a
So
Wednesday.
20th is a Wednesday after
sorry.
the long weekend.
What's
Second.
good for Pat?
Yeah, that's good?
For a budget you're talking about?
Yeah.
For this again, yeah.
Could we check with Kevin and see if we can get him involved here somehow?
Well, I thought that's,
He said
I
he's
thought
not
we
coming
moved it to
through
11
today.
o'clock there, then he'd take his lunch there, and he'd leave an hour earlier and come and then go back.
I guess it just didn't work for, it's hard for any time during the day.
So at 11 again, or what
Could
time?
we decide next week at our regular meeting?
We can change it if we have
Yeah,
to.
change it. if
Well,
we
I
have
could
to.
help you.
Is 11 good for
11
you?
good for you?
Pat, ladies?
10 o'clock?
10 maybe?
10 or 11?
10's
Ten's
better, I
Okay.
agree.
That's
Two
10.
Wednesdays from today, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock.
I'm sorry, I mean.
Goodbye.